Hey everyone, it is Stephanie here with Infernal TV, and I'm here with Sonny from Arise from Worms. So how are you?
Good. You?
I'm doing good, thanks for asking. Alright, so overall, how did this project form?
This project formed actually right after the last Incantation tour that I did with Morbid Angel, and I think it was Tane was on that tour. And I just got to talking with Steve Tucker from Morbid, and then I was getting ready to do some material and stuff like that, and so we stayed in contact, and I went right in the studio right after the tour and started working on the songs and busting butt doing that every day. And then actually Charlie, that was a fill-in drummer for Incantation, he was going to do drums, but whatever came up, he wasn't able to. So then Tucker wanted to work with Flo from Cryptopsy. And so I contacted Flo, and he said send the material over, so we did. And then I didn't hear back from him for a little bit, and I was like, oh no, maybe he thinks it sucks or something, And then he wrote back, and I said, hey, what'd you think of the tunes? And he's just like, already booked studio time, so I'll be in the studio next week. I go, oh, okay. So so that's how that came about. And then Flo went in, and he just busted the songs out, the huge sessions he did to get that done, and it just came out phenomenal. I couldn't be more happier with Flo. I mean, it just really happened, and Tucker just kept telling me, man, that guy delivers. That's who you want in your corner. So it was a good move. So we're pretty happy, and it came out great. So
Awesome. And Arise from Worms is a very unique name. Where did the band name come from?
There's two things behind it. Actually, my brother that passed away years ago always used to say, don't be a worm. You know what I mean? Or somebody would do something wrong. Oh, you worm, And I just always thought it was, just stuck in my head. And then, with the whole getting fired from Incantation, the name just popped into my head. Arise from Worms. Arise up from all the leeches attached to your ass and people that you thought you were friends, and get going in the studio and bust this stuff out. So it was just kind of rise up basically for Worms. So so that's how that came about, that title, that band name. So
Interesting. And now you mentioned that you're working on an album right now, and you said it should be released next month, right? Or in the next few weeks?
We recorded an EP, which is three songs with the full lineup, and then the fourth song is an instrumental tune that's going to have orchestra musicians in it. So I'm finishing that up now. And then the EP is there's like over 7 or 8 labels now that just been asking me like crazy about the project. It's just crazy. So we sent all the songs to World Management, and then they're going to take care of it and start making the moves February. So yeah, February. We're looking to get it out. So I'm just slowly finishing up the very last little pieces here of this last song, and then but I'm already they want a follow-up full length, so I'm already working on that.
Wow.
So that'll consist of Flo from Cryptopsy and Steve Tucker again. We all they all agreed to do a follow-up full length, and so we're pretty happy about that. And so yeah, that's about it. So the EP will be February, March, maybe, and then the full length will take me all the way probably to end of summer, because these songs are a little bit hard to play. They're not your ordinary death metal type stuff. So
Awesome. So so I mean, of course, like fans of you, and also of Cryptopsy, everything else that Flo does, and Morbid Angel, I'm sure fans can expect, like, or I guess what I'm trying to say is fans probably have an idea of what to expect, but I guess what in your what in your words, like, how would you describe the Rise from Worms sound other than it's very difficult to play?
It's funny because once the word got out, just word of mouth, it spread like a disease through the metal scene. I mean, my messenger just started getting blown up like crazy. I mean, it was Cryptopsy fans and Morbid fans and Incantation fans, out the ass. It was just crazy, even now because, we had Dallas did a guest guitar solo and some vocal stuff. And so it was like tons of fans that started, from all these bands started coming in. Hey, what is this? But it doesn't sound anything like Morbid Angel or Cryptopsy. So it's kind of, it's hard to just really describe. I mean, I can't describe it, Steve has said, man, this is very unique. This is something really, really fresh sounding, I can't, I don't know any bands that would sound like it, I guess. I can't compare it to it, because I come from such a different musical background than the rest of the guys, with classical music and stuff like that. So it's hard to say, I can't say, I mean, anybody that's a big fan of Flo, they're going to know, yeah, that's Flo's drumming. And same thing with Steve Tucker, I mean, they're going to, oh yeah, that's definitely Steve singing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But as far as the music, it was, they both said, wow, this is really out in left field for us. We never would have wrote anything like this, so it's very musical, but brutal.
Nice.
And the one thing I can say about it is there's a lot of lead guitar and harmony lead bass, where the bass is doing the leads with the main leads for big amounts of time. You know what I mean? It's just not little diddlies here and there like a bass run or something like that. I mean, there's literally harmonized giant bass and guitar solo runs, which are ungodly to play on bass. That was probably the toughest part of it, yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
Nice, it did indeed. And I saw that you are working with Chris Donaldson for the EP and I'm assuming the album as well. So what is it like working with him?
Yes, that guy is exactly what I was looking for. Flo hooked me up with him, because Flo recorded his drums at the Grid. I call it Cryptopsy Studio, but I think it's called the Grid, where Chris works. And so he goes, well, we were going to have Eric Rutan do it, and then, Flo already recorded his drums there. So we were just like, well, let's just finish it there, But I think we did 3 mixes he sent, and we were done. That was it. He totally reached into my head and pulled out what I was hearing, and it went quick. I even told him, I was so happy. I says, I won't let anybody else touch my material except for you.
Nice.
I mean, he captured you can hear the drums, you can hear every note on the bass, you can hear every lead, the vocals, everything is so crystal clear, it just had a very unique sound to it. It just came out really, really good, it's not muddy, it's not trebly, it just has a good, really, really good sound to it,
Awesome. So. And you mentioned a little bit about your background in classical, but I want to specifically ask about your background as a guitar player in general, and I guess weaving in the classical influences as well, and how that's coming out into this material.
Yeah, that has a big influence on it, especially with the classical and the orchestra type stuff, because I went to music school when I was younger. You know what I mean? So as soon as I turned 10 years old and I heard Unleashed in the East by Judas Priest, I was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? This is crazy. So I just immediately started guitar lessons. And then I didn't really start rock until this old movie came out. called Crossroads with the Karate Kid in it, and he battled like Steve Vai at the end. You know, it was a big guitar battle, and then that's when I really leaped forward to like going to classical guitar school and then studying jazz and you know, doing all that stuff. So that's how all that came about. You know, I was just a fiend for anything with information on the guitar. You know, no matter what it was. If somebody at a show, an opening band would play a cool lick, I'd be the first one over there to go, oh my God, what is that? Show it to me. You know, that's cool. You know what I mean? Oh my God, can I show it, you know, teach it to me, you know? Because there's always something you can learn from somebody, you know, the way they do certain things, you know, and you just take it and you run with it and make it your own, you know, and that's what any big guitar player says, like, you got to take it past it where you found it, and that's kind of what I did, you know. I took all that shred metal guitar stuff and I just put it into this style of music, you know, so, and it came out really good, you know. It's just, you know, there's like some giant scale rolls, you know, and I remember Flo saying, I don't know what to play there, and I says, oh, that's all drums to that guitar solo and that bass solo. You know, there is no rhythm guitar. The lead is the rhythm part of it, you know, so he'd have to follow these leads on his drums, you know, so it was pretty cool. It was kind of like, you know, the riff would be like, you know what I mean, and he's just like, what's the bass doing? I was just like, you know, so I was just like, yeah, so I was just like, well, they're both doing that, so you need to do that on the drums, you know. You know what I mean? And oh, okay. So when I actually sent him some videos of me playing air drums just to help him, I'm sure it looks silly as hell, you know. You know, but that's how all that came together. You know, it was just you know, once I was at Incan, I just pulled out all my music books and just started getting back to how I play. You know, because for the past 8 years, it was kind of basically felt like I was in a cover band of death metal. You know what I mean? You know, my style just wasn't coming out. I'd probably put, you know, everything I had into the band, and maybe 1% went on the albums. You know? So, but now I can, you know, do what I want and do all this stuff and send it off. And, you know, it's just, you know, management was extremely happy. They're like, oh my God, man, you got something here, and you don't even know it. You know, because when you're recording every day like that, 8 hours a day, it starts to just become blend, you know, because you're hearing the same thing, you know what I mean, and you're working on parts, and then you need somebody else to hear it and say, wow, you got something here, you know what I mean, because after a while, you're just like, it's okay, you know, because you heard it, you know, you did 80 takes of one little part, you know what I mean, just to get it as clean as possible, and then, you know, it doesn't sound as amazing as the first time you try to record it, you know, because you're kind of burned out on it a little bit, you know.
Right.
So but yeah, that's about it on that.
All right, now, you know, Arise from Worms is like you're releasing the band at a very, very odd time because of COVID-19. You know, we can't play shows and everything. So, what is your outlook on the music industry?
Ooh, you know, me and Flo were talking the other day, you know, trying to make some decisions on, you know, a possible tour or something like that. We both just kind of were video chatting, and it's just like, how can you make any decisions because you're not sure what's happening? You know, I mean, how can you say, you know, it's like I see a bunch of tours are starting to get booked over in Europe and stuff like that, and I talked to a few of the promoters I became friends with, and hey, you guys are opening up over there? No, that's just wishful thinking. I said, oh, you know, and I said it for a while. I said, I don't think anything's going to happen to real touring again until like 22. You know, I just don't. Just because, you know, people go, it's a new year. Let's shred and play metal, and the virus didn't go away because it's a new year. You know, so it's very hard to you know, to think of things, you know, what to do, you know. So, I mean, at this point, I'm really busy, you know, because, okay, we love this, and now you need more material for a full length. So, I mean, I'm extremely busy. So the downtime is actually kind of helping me, you know, honestly, because you can't go do anything, so I'm getting stuff done, you know, because I was talking about doing an album for how long, but there was so much touring in the other band that, you know, I'd get home, I wouldn't even want to look at a guitar. You know, I mean, we were touring nonstop for over 8 years, you know, and the last thing you want to do is go in and record, you know, stuff. But yeah, it's kind of hard. You know, I don't know what to say. You know, I know a lot of guys are really hurting, and you know, I feel for them and stuff like that. You know, but hopefully, you know, it comes through. You know, so people can get out there and start making their living again and doing things. You know.
Nice. So with all of that said, what do you see for the future for Arise from Worms? When obviously you have the EP, the album coming out. Hopefully tours can happen again. But do you want this to be, I guess, more like a full-time, like constantly touring band, or is this more of a project, like a side project, or what do you think?
No, we kind of, you know, I sat down with the other two guys, and you know, I just said. They all agreed. If a good tour package comes up, we'll all do it. You know, and think of it that way. But I can't do, and they all both agreed to with me. I can't do 6-week tour over in Europe in a little white band with 15 guys. You know, I just can't do that anymore. You know, if it's a good package, we all agreed to do it. If everybody's comfortable and you know, can make it happen. You know, I mean, obviously Morbid Angel comes first and Cryptopsy comes first. You know, they have all told me that right off the top, which I understand. That's their bread and butter, you know. And but yeah, we did. You know, we all agreed to move forward. You know, and I was pretty happy about that. You know, but you know, only if it's you know, something that's going to be a good deal. You know, something good for us. You know. Type situation, because we're all older now, you know. You know, I definitely can't, you know, sleep in a van and do them type of tours anymore. It's just too much, you know.
Right.
It's just way too much.
Nice. So this is the last question. You can say whatever you want. You can promote the band, the album. You can say thanks to the fans. It's all yours. Take it away.
Expect some shred metal. That's all I can say. Thousands of hours of work.
All right.
Yeah, I just hope to see everybody again. You know, I made a lot of good friends out there touring, and a lot of people are waiting to hear this material. I mean, every day, you know, fans and friends and people that I've talked to just waiting and waiting, you know, to hear this stuff, you know. And I think it all started, I just posted a little clip on my phone in the studio one time, and somebody reposted it somewhere, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, it was like, you know, Beatlemania of, you know, oh my God, what is this? What is this? What is this? You know, and then it just kind of took off from there. So, you know, yeah, we're working hard, you know. I bet you I spent 8-10 hours in the studio.
Wow, that's a lot.
You know. Yeah, so it's a lot of time, you know. It's a lot of time. I mean, some days you can go in and play the riff good, and then come in the next day and be like, oh, I think I was in too good of a mood that day. I got to re-record it and get a little more pissed off sounding, you know. So, but yeah, that's about it.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for checking out this interview. Just like Sonny said, Arise from Worms will be releasing their EP either next month or in March. They're working on a full length right now. Hopefully touring can come back and we can see these guys live. So thank you again for listening, and stay metal, everyone.
Cool. Metal.